Hi, it's Linda Schul, your instructor for UNM Marketing. Today we're going to go over Module 2, and I'd like to share my screen with you. Let's see, share screen. Here we go. And we are going to look at Module 2. So, as always, you're expected to look at the overview and to read the chapters. In Module 2, we are adding chapters. Module 1, we started out a little slow and we talked about the marketing plan, but now we're going to add chapters. We're really going to get rolling in this 8-week session, and you guys have to hold on. It's a roller coaster and you got to keep going, okay? So Module 2 just outlines basically what we're going to do is chapters 2, 8, and 9. We jump around a little bit, but I put it together and it makes sense what we're doing together. And then we're going to have assignments. And this is a pretty heavy chapter as far as assignments. So spend your time very cautiously. You're going to have to keep working on your marketing plan, your final project, and it's a lot of work. So don't wait to the very end. You're going to read your chapter 2. You're going to do your chapter 2 concept check, and then an assignment. It's all about marketing plan information. And we touched base on this last video, where this is information that's coming from your client. We don't want to spend a whole lot of time with them, but we want to get some basic information and background. And then chapter 8, the reading, your PowerPoint, if you want to look through it, the concept check, 5 points on each of those. A really good article, I'll touch base on this for the demographics. And then there's an assignment, your target market ID and analysis. And then we pop over to chapter 9. We have a reading, a concept check, and you're developing a questionnaire. Now, this is a draft. I will go through it. I'll give you suggestions. You'll fix it again, and then you'll start surveying. And this is really important to get it done, all of this in this 1 week. So you guys have to get going. You have to get going. So chapter 2 is about planning for competitive advantage. Now, what is competitive advantage? It's an advantage over the competition. So number 1, who is your competition? Number 2, what are their 4 Ps? What's their product, their price, their place, their promotion? You have to outline all of that so you understand it, so you can figure out where do you fit within that and how can you have an advantage over the competition. Really important in marketing, because otherwise you'll get swallowed up. Nobody will ever look at you. You have to stand apart from your competition. And the only way you can do that is knowing who your competition is and what they offer and their pricing and their promotion and where they distribute their products, because you got to match it or beat it, right? All right, so let me just touch base here. This chapter 2 assignment, like I said, this is about your marketing plan, and you're going to go and ask your client, the owner or manager of this small or medium-sized business that you've selected for your final project, this is your client. You're going to ask, what is the mission statement? If there's no mission statement, you have to write one for them. What are their goals and objectives? These need to be measurable and time specific. By that measurable, I mean there need to be numbers. Goals such as, I want to increase sales 10% in the next 6 months, or I want to raise revenues $50,000 in the next year. That's measurable. There's a number attached to it. And then I also, excuse me, mentioned to you time specific. I said in the next quarter and the next year and the next 6 months, that's time specific. So you have to have it measurable and time specific for this goal, or you won't get points here. Okay. the company's core competencies. So these are their strengths and their weaknesses. So what do they do well? What do they need work on? And there should be at least 3 of each of these. And then their target market. You need to have demographics. So I put an article in here about what are demographics. And I also gave you an information within the chapter, what are demographics? So demographics are gender, education. So is it male or female? What level of education do they have? Maybe it's family life cycle, zip code. We like to stay away from income, although you can say income range. We're not going to ask anybody what their income is because they're just going to be turned off by that. Don't want to do that. So this is the information you have to post during module 2. And that's the assignment for chapter 2. Okay, and then we move on to chapter 8, where you'll do the reading about segmenting and targeting your market. So in the initial video, when I talked to you, I said there's a group of people or a potential customer in the center of all your 4 Ps. Okay, so this is your target market. All right, we're looking at a potential group of people who we want to sell to, or it could be a potential group of businesses. Okay, this is our target market. And then within that target market, you may want to segment. Okay, so your target market could be all people who live in Albuquerque, Northeast area. We don't want to do that, but just humor me for a minute. Okay, so we say Albuquerque, Northeast zip codes. Okay, 87109, 10111, 112. That's huge. That's a big zip code area. So we're targeting based on zip code first, and then we can segment it, cut it up. So we can then look at, okay, what about ages? Are we interested in different age groups? Are we interested in education levels? So we can segment in a lot of different ways. And the book goes into a lot of different ways to segmenting and variables used to segment. And I want you to use that information when you answer this chapter 8 assignment. Okay, so the target market ID and analysis. What type of targeting strategy is used for your product or service right now? Should a different one be used? And the only way you can answer this is if you know what are the targeting strategies, and you're going to have to read these in chapter 8. There are a number of different strategies that you can use to look at your market. It's called a targeting strategy. And then you have to select and justify segmentation variables. Okay, so meaning how are you going to cut it up? Okay, so look at that. And then report to me for your marketing plan. And I do this because once you answer these questions and submit this, and I look at it and I give you feedback, this is information you're going to be able to use in your final project. Okay, there's a section called target market and segmenting. Okay, so you'll be able to use that. Now we're going to move on to chapter 9. I said this is a lot of work. We got to get it done. You're only here for 8 weeks. Okay, chapter 9, you're going to read about market research. You're going to take the concept check for market research, and you're going to develop a questionnaire. Now, this is not it's not very difficult, but when we do it, we start thinking about the customer and putting ourselves in their shoes. Okay, so what do they actually need? How do they search for information? How do they evaluate that information? All of those things need to come into the questions that you're going to ask in your questionnaire. Okay, but you also have to have questions about the 4 Ps. Okay, so when you go and you want to talk to someone and ask them about what they're interested in, you have to think about the product or the service that they might be interested in. Do they want it in purple, green, or pink? How much are they willing to pay for that product or service? Where would they look for information about that product or service? That's promotion. And then where would they go to purchase, or how far would they travel to purchase that product or service? That's distribution or place. Okay, so we can get questions in there about all of this. And it's really important to note, I'm going to stop here and slow down. It's important to note, when you have a questionnaire, you do not go to your clients, current customers, and ask them these questions. Your client already have these customers. Okay, what we're looking at are people out there, potential customers, who may become your clients' customers. Okay, so right now we're just looking at developing a questionnaire that we can go out and survey potential customers. Okay, this questionnaire will be used as a survey far away from your client's business. Okay, we're not gonna do it anywhere close to your client's business. We're gonna think, where are these target markets? Where can I reach these people? It could be by email, it could be in person. You could do a Survey Monkey, you can do a Google survey. It's up to you how you want to do this. But right now in chapter 9, what we're doing is we're developing the questionnaire. There's some sample questionnaires here, so you can look at what it looks like. And then once, okay, I'll open this up. It says surveying. Once I look at your questionnaire, I edit it, give you feedback. You go back, you fix it. If you want me to look at it again, I'm happy to do that. Then you're going to survey 15 to 20 people, compile all your data there. Again, I give you lots of samples on how to do this. Nothing difficult, just means, medians, modes, no standard deviation or anything like that. Write up a summary of data, put it into your consumer analysis. Okay, but right now, what we're going to focus on is just drafting the questionnaire during chapter 9, during module 2. Okay, so if you have questions on that, let me know. Okay, I opened up also this little thing on chapter 4. This is totally optional. I really enjoy Hans Rosling. He's passed away right now. His children are continuing to write and look at his research, but he's written some things about the world and around us, just the external environments. Okay, and it's really important in marketing to be up on what's happening in the world and the environments around you, and whether it's political or technical or economic. It's really important to understand what's happening and how my marketing is going to be affected by this external environment, because I can keep my head in the sand and say that's not going to happen, but it will. It will. You know, the war in Ukraine and Russia is going to happen for many, many years. How is that going to affect my marketing and my business? Is it at all? Is the presidential election going to affect my marketing, my business? Is it going to affect the stock market? Is the stock market going to affect my marketing, my business? Yes, yes, yes. You know, so we really need to understand the external environments, and that's what chapter 4 is all about. And I really like that chapter. So it's worth looking into. Okay, so that's it for module 2, and I'm going to stop sharing now. And just let me know if you have questions. As always, I'm here for you.